Okay. All right, you guys, thank you for keeping me on target and on track. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So once again, get on your seat, make sure that you're comfortable. Make sure that if crossed legs is not comfortable for you, please allow your knees and your legs to come out straight. Just put a little bit of padding underneath the knees so that you're not hyperextending them. This really is, as we come into our breath, about comfort. So that said, let your eyes gently close. Take a moment to find some relaxation, and I want you just to kind of ease into your body, make whatever movements feel good. And before we do anything to change our breath, let's just simply take a moment to observe where we are within our breath. Take a moment to notice how your body feels. Take a moment to fidget. Please remember always to fidget and make sure that you really are comfortable where you are. And then when you find that space of comfort, we're going to take just a few cycles of breath coming in from that deep diaphragmatic breath before we move into Nadi Shodhana and alternate nostril breathing. So please remember that as you're coming into your deep diaphragmatic breath, you're going to begin the inhale at the low belly, gently pressing that low belly to the front and to the sides. And then you're going to allow that inhale to travel up to the solar plexus and then all the way up behind the collarbone and a little bit above and behind the heart. And then as you exhale, you're going to feel the release coming from behind the collarbone, above and behind the heart, to the solar plexus, and then back down into that low belly. And just find that ebb and flow through the inhale and the exhale. Slow, steady breath. And when you feel that connection to your breath, you're going to take your non-dominant hand. So this is the hand that you do not write with. And I want you to go ahead, you're going to use your thumb and either your pinky or your ring finger or both. And I want you to take a deep inhale through both nostrils. Pause at the top for 1 to 2 counts. And as you're pausing, I want you to take your thumb and I want you to cover your right nostril. So that when you're ready, you're going to exhale only through the left nostril. At the bottom of the exhale through the left nostril, again, inhale through the left nostril. And at the top of the inhale through the left nostril, again, you're going to pause for 1 to 2 counts, and then you're going to change. So you're going to bring your ring finger, your pinky finger, and stop the flow through the left nostril. And then as you exhale, exhale through the right nostril. And then when you're ready, inhale through the left nostril. Again, at the top of the inhale, pause for 1 to 2 counts. Stop the flow over the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril. And then inhale through the left nostril. Again, at the top of the breath, pause for 1 to 2 counts. Block the left nostril. Exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Pause again and change. Exhale through the left nostril. Okay, I want you to do this 5 full cycles of breath, finishing with an exhale on the left nostril, and then go ahead and allow your hands to come down to the tops of the thighs, palms facing up. Okay, you guys, when you're ready, from this place, take your palms, place them over your heart, moving into sound, moving into tone. We'll go ahead and sing the sound of ah, then we'll sing the sound of oh, then the sound of mm. On the 4th breath, we'll put it all together. And in that silence, please set your intent for your practice today, giving yourself an intent that is an I am statement, something that you want, something that you need. So when you're ready, take that full deep inhale coming from the low belly. And then when you're ready, gently, slowly, let your hands come back down, palms facing down. And then from this place, allow the corners of the mouth to lightly come up, eyes open softly, feeling the difference in your body. Being now ready to learn, ready to be open, ready to play. Thanks, you guys. Okay, so what we're going to play with today is this whole idea that the muscle's job is to pull, okay? So that's where it's strongest. So it's when it's making a pulling motion. It's like when you come from an outstretched arm and then you pull and you contract, okay? Now, the opposite of that is that when you come back out, right, you're still contracting. This is the eccentric contraction. So what I want you to think about is that we're used to thinking about muscles in isolation. And instead, I want you to start to think about muscles as a system. Does that make sense? It's like what I've been finding in my own practice is that when I think about as I'm making a movement, what muscles, in order to make the movement, do I want to pull? Do I want to activate so that they will bring my body into the movement? And the same thing for when I'm coming out. As I'm coming out of emotion, what muscles do I need to activate to pull myself back to where I'm at rest? So, for example, when we're sitting, this would be the equivalent of the anatomical position, right? Everything is more or less in neutral. Yes, the back muscles are active, but it's because we're in gravity, okay? So they've always got to kind of work a little bit. What we're going to use this today is we're going to play full body, but we're going to place some emphasis on the shoulders because believe it or not, within the shoulder complex, or what we talk about as the shoulder girdle, there's 17 different muscles that connect into the shoulder, you guys. It really is a complex. It's a little complicated. There's a lot, and it's because we have so much range of movement through our arms. It's like we can make really big movements, and all of those muscles, right, need to be able to work in concert together. So everything's moving together. If the muscles weren't working together, we'd be really herky-jerky, right? We would not be able to make, yeah, exactly. We would not be able to make smooth, fluid movements, okay? But part of what happens, especially because this is not anything that we were ever taught, is that we have muscles that are kind of like asleep. They call it muscle amnesia. And what they found is that for people that have some type of muscle instability, guess what? Some of your muscles are asleep. So that's why we're going to play with this today. We're going to try to wake some muscles up that maybe you haven't used often. Does that make sense? So to play with this before we move into the neck is that, so say for example, you wanted to lift your arm just up to 90 degrees, okay? Well, that movement is supposed to come from your pectoral muscles. So what I want you to do is place your right hand over your left chest, right? And then I want you to extend your fingers out so that you're maybe almost at 90 degrees down. And what I want you to do is feel those muscles activate as you bring your arm up to 90 degrees. Good. Can you feel how strong those muscles are? Okay, now these muscles are going to still contract eccentrically as you bring your arm down, but you actually have muscles behind that are supposed to be pulling, right? Remember, muscles pull. We don't think about that. So I want you to take your right hand and now bring it underneath and wrap underneath your armpit to the back of your shoulder blade. Can everybody feel that? Okay, now what I want you to do is you're going to move the shoulder joint just a little bit back. So your arm is still at 90 degrees. This is going to help you activate. And then gently, I want you to pull using these muscles that are on the shoulder blade behind. Pull the arm down. Good. Nice. And then let it relax. Then roll your shoulder. Can you feel the difference, right? So a lot of times what happens is that because the muscles behind, because we round a lot, they tend to get weak and overstretched, which means that the pectoral muscles, they're going to fire great to bring it up. But the shoulder muscles, right behind the scapula, they're not going to want to do anything when you lower it. They're going to leave it all up to the pec muscles. This is where I want you to start thinking. It's like, okay, if I'm pulling these muscles up, what do I need to pull to bring it back down? Does that make sense? So now I want you to do the other side. So you're going to take your left hand now, bring it over the muscles on this right side. Okay, arm starts down. And I want you to gently lift your arm. And I want you to see if you notice, only bring it up to 90 degrees, because if we bring it higher, then we're going to work into different muscles. Did this side fire as well as the other? Okay, yes. For some of us, you may have one side that's a little lazy, okay? So again, you're going to take this left hand and I want you to wrap it around so that you can feel the back side of your shoulder, okay? And now just gently, very gently, draw your head, right, back just a little bit, and now activate those shoulder muscles behind the shoulder blade muscles. Activate those as you bring your arm down. Oh, and then roll it, okay? Can you feel a difference in the movement when you start activating? So it's like, it doesn't matter what movement that you make, there should always be a muscle that's pulling. Does that make sense? Right? Okay, good. So that when you do that, it's going to take a lot of pressure off of the other muscles. Does that make sense? Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is, we're going to do that opposite movement. So what we did is we came up. What we're going to do now is I want you to take those medial edges of your shoulder blades, right? And again, I want you to feel, so we're going to retract, okay? So we did the protraction, which is forward, right? Or no, I'm sorry, we did elevation. So what I want you to do, if you can, this is a little tricksy, so if you can't get all the way up there, I understand, okay? So what we're going to do is, again, start with the arm down. If you can get your arm up here, this is another pulling movement. So get your arm up to your shoulder blade, okay? And now I want you to take these shoulder blade muscles and I want you to pull as you bring your arm behind you, okay? So we're not trying to retract yet, we're just trying to extend, right? Good. And now remove the arm. You're going to keep that arm back. I'm going to turn around. So this is going to shift a little bit more up. So I want you to feel around the deltoid muscles. So now that we have the arm back, I want you to place your hand over the front of the cap of the shoulder, and I want you to feel those muscles pull back. Does that make sense? There you go. Good. Do the other side. So change arms if you can. Get the hand on the shoulder. All right. And we're going to extend through the arm. So deep inhale. Exhale. Pull through the back of the shoulder blade. Ah. Okay. And then, when you can feel that, to bring it back forward, you're still going to place it. So this is still some of the pec muscle, but it's also a little bit more of the deltoid. And then go ahead, and from there, bring it back. Good. Okay. And then float the arms out. Does that feel a little bit better? Okay. Are you noticing a difference just by doing this? We're going to do a few more, but I want you to start paying attention to see if the pain that you have in the neck is starting to go away. All right. Now, this next one, abduction and adduction, I can tell you that my adductors are really lazy. Okay. So abduction is actually supposed to start up here at the top of the neck. There's a little muscle called the supraspinatus, and then the upper trapezius overlap that. and then it goes into the middle deltoid, okay? So as you bring your arm up, do it slowly, use your breath. I want you to focus on activating. There you go. There you go. Good. So what happens is that as you make that movement, the supraspinatus starts, and then as you bring your arm out, the deltoid can take over. Now, here's the trick. These muscles underneath are supposed to adduct. They're supposed to actually pull down. So when you get ready, pull. Activate them and make them pull the arm down. Good. Can you feel that difference? Now let the arm go. Does it feel lighter? Right? It's like all of a sudden, you're not overusing these. Normally what we do is we lift up, and then it's like, and then we ask these same muscles to eccentrically contract, right? To let us go down, but we never use the pulling muscles underneath. I want you guys to start thinking about that. Start pulling, right? Other side. Okay, so here we go. Deep inhale. Think about, so small muscles at the top of the shoulder blade. And then when you get to about 30, 45 degrees, all of a sudden the deltoids come on board and they can bring it up to 90 degrees, right? Now, take these muscles, they're underneath. These are your serratus anterior and then also subscapularis. Okay, use those. Pull. Okay, and did you notice you have one side that's a little bit easier to do this than the other, okay? The side that's a little bit easier to do this, those are the muscles that activate. The side that's a little bit more challenging, those are the muscles. We've got one more range of motion that we're gonna play with. This is protraction. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this pec muscle and we're gonna draw the shoulder blades forward, okay? So both hands go together. Deep inhale, exhale, and I want you to feel how your pec muscles actually work to squeeze together and create space behind. Good. Now, I want you to take those rhomboids and those lower trapezius, and I want you to take those inner edges of your shoulder blades, and I want you to pull them together. So notice how it's taking the stress off of the pec muscles, and instead you're asking your back to move. Now I want you to keep going, and I want you to squeeze those inner edges of the shoulder blades together. Oh, and notice how much opening you're getting through the front without pushing. There's no push, it's just a pull. Okay, now take your pectoral muscles and begin to work them and begin to draw them forward. Okay, one more time. Good, rolling forward. And now taking those inner edges of the shoulder blades, use those rhomboid muscles. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. And then gently pull the shoulders and let it come back to neutral and roll it out. Okay, you guys, how does that feel? Better, good? Do you feel a little bit more? Okay, let's move this into the neck since we had a couple people that had grumpy necks. Starting with the right ear. So I want you, we're back to neutral. Want you to check in with these muscles, these on the right side of the neck, because these are the ones that are going to contract. Okay, so take a deep inhale, exhale, and feel these muscles actually contract. Notice if there's a difference when you are activating these muscles in terms of the type of opening, the eccentric contraction that you feel on the other side. Okay. So now, in order to get back to neutral, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do a little bit of additional firing. So I want you to bring this left hand on top of the shoulder, and you're going to activate through the trapezius muscle a little bit in order to get to neutral. So activate, come back to neutral. Now we're going to activate on this left side. So I want you to contract. Feel these neck muscles on the left side. Oh, actually contract. Feel them work. And notice that as you do that, you get a very different sensation. And breathe. Good. Okay. Right hand comes to the trapezius muscle. Hold. Bring it back up to neutral. Okay. Let your head do a little circumduction and just kind of notice. How did that feel? Right? A little bit better? Yeah? Okay. All right, you guys. We can do this. We're going to move to standing for just a moment because I want you guys to notice that it's like you can do this with big movements too. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down into a forward fold and then we're going to come back up. So those of you that need a blanket underneath the ankles to make sure that you are not over dorsiflexing, please make sure that you've got a blanket underneath the heel of the foot. All right, you guys. So I'm going to do this from the side. So this becomes a little bit easier for y'all to see. So one of the things, you guys, that I always, it's like, wow, why haven't we been doing this in yoga? Is that, here we go. So anytime we make a forward fold, you guys, we're asking these back muscles to extend and lengthen, okay? The tummy muscles are the ones that are doing the contracting. How many of you contract your tummy muscles as you go into a forward fold? Yeah, I wasn't doing it this way either. So here we go. I want you to engage through these muscles, right? So you're going to tighten them. Take a deep inhale. And now I want you to feel them contract. So you're going to feel them get short. You've got your abdominis rectus that goes all the way from at the top of where your rib cage joins all the way down to your pubic symphysis. So I want you to feel the muscles begin to pull you forward. And all you're going to do is go as far as you are able. So this may not be a complete forward fold, but I want you to keep feeling that contraction. When you've gone as far as you can, let your hands rest at your knees. Pause and breathe. Let everything get soft. Now, what are we going to do in order to help all these muscles that have been very extended, right, find their way to pull up? We're going to use our glutes. So I want you to squeeze really strongly through the glutes. You're going to let the belly, it's still lightly active because now it's going to begin to stretch. But I want you to use your glutes to create support for the back muscles so that you can bring yourself up. Can you feel the difference with that? Yes, no? Okay. You want to do it again. Let's one more time. So I want you to activate through your belly. Deep inhale. Squeeze that belly as you're working it together. Contract, contract, contract. Go as far as it's comfortable and then let your body relax for a moment. And now to bring yourself up. Use those glutes, squeeze, create the stabilizers so that then you can support through the back to bring yourself back up. Okay. Now, if you want to go ahead and move yourself into a little bit of a back bend, again, you're going to use the glute muscles as stabilizers and feel the back begin to contract. So the back is going to begin to contract. And then I want you to focus on how open you get through the belly. To bring yourself out, guess what? You need to activate your belly. Activate the belly. and feel it pull yourself up. Okay? Does that make sense? Do you guys feel that? Okay. All right. All that said, here we go. Now we're going to start to play. So come down into tabletop. Here we go. So we're going to start today with a little bit of cat and cow. All right. So what I want you to do is, as you're moving into cow, I want you to begin by squeezing through your glutes a little bit to provide that stabilization, and then use these muscles through the low back. So this is gonna, you've got several, and I want you to feel the muscles activate to allow the hips and increase the curve. And then once you have that, it's not going to be a necessarily big movement. I'm not looking for big. I want you to shift the awareness so that you can continue that opening through the front side of the belly and really find that stretch through the front side of the belly. And just breathe. Full cycles of breath. And now from here, and when you're ready, as you exhale, I want you to begin to engage through the belly. And as you engage through the belly, I want you to release the curve through the lower lumbar spine. Keep squeezing through that belly, which will give you a little bit more space so that you can press down in through the palms and feel the separation in between the shoulder blades. Chin comes up to the chest. Now we're going to begin to release that. So move very gently, very slowly. We've got lots of eccentric contraction going on. Then once you get back to neutral, now we're going to go move back into cow. So I want you again to activate through the glutes and then feel those lower lumbar muscles. Move the pelvis up. From that point, now I want you to open into the front of the belly. Let your gaze come forward. So you really should be feeling this stretch through the top of the belly. To come out, begin to squeeze through the glutes, creating stability so that you can come back to neutral. You're going to activate through the belly and then really engage through the belly to draw the hips toward you, to drop that pelvis down. And then create the space as you press down through the palms, separation through the shoulder blades, chin moves up and into the chest. Gently, slowly release that, come back to neutral. Okay, how are we feeling right there, you guys? Good? Okay, awesome. All right, now from here, we're going to do something that's going to wake up our serratus anterior muscles. These are little muscles that come right around the rib cage. You guys, these are really important muscles. They go from the rib cage all the way and attach on the side in between the shoulder blade and the ribs, and they attach all the way to the inner edge of the shoulders, the medial edge of the shoulder blade. They're huge and they're really important. Those of us that do not like downward facing dog, we need this muscle. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to simply, these are called shoulder blade push-ups. So what you're going to do is staying in neutral. All you're going to do is push down through the palms, separate through the shoulders. And then I want you to activate those inner edges of the shoulder blades, keep your arms straight, and begin to draw those shoulder blades together. And if your body starts to shake here, that's great. Then let it relax. Press down through the palms. Feeling that separation in between the shoulder blades. You may feel this all the way down into the triceps. That's fine. And then again, keeping the arms straight. Squeeze those inner edges of the shoulder blades together and begin to find those muscles underneath your armpits down the sides. And then one more time. Let it release. Separate through the shoulder blades. Keeping the arms straight. Squeeze those inner edges of the shoulder blades together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then let it relax. Come back to sitting for a moment. Grab your strap. Okay. Let the shoulders go. Okay. Could everybody feel that activation? Yes? No? Yeah? Okay. All right. So you guys, here's the deal. When we go into downward facing dog, these muscles underneath here, this serratus anterior, guess what? They're supposed to be stabilizing us. That's what allows us to bring the shoulders down and back into that neutral position. Most of us don't even know we have them, which is a problem. Okay, so here we go. What I want you to do is we're going to go ahead and place the strap over the right shoulder. Okay. I want you to take this left hand. All right. Now, we're going to be making a lot of range of motion through the shoulder. So I want you to think about what's pulling when we make the movement. So bring your left palm up. Let your right hand come across the front of the chest, okay? So first thing that's gonna need to do is I'm gonna need to have you pull from behind the shoulder blade. So I want you to pull so that you can retract that shoulder. Then let the arm relax and come down and across, okay? Can you feel the difference when you did it from the back of the shoulder as opposed to the way you normally do it, which is to try to push from the front? Does it make sense? There you go, good. All right, take this left arm. Inhale up, okay. Now, we haven't talked about this, so bring it down. So you've got some really strong muscles in the back that are gonna help you lift the shoulder, okay? One of them is levator scapula, which tends to get really cranky on people because it gets way overused. So what I want you to do is think about a little bit before you start. I want you to squeeze that shoulder back just a little bit and now lift slowly. Can you feel the difference? It's like all of a sudden now the muscles that are working to pull down to keep the joint stable are activating as well as the muscles that are pulling up. Does that make sense? Then gently bend that right arm and grasp. So this right now is simply, we're not trying to go, how deep can we go? This is about, let's see what we can learn. So what I want you to do is play with this idea that play with the idea of squeezing the inner edges of the shoulder blades, just slightly more together. And notice how that feels through the shoulder girdle. And breathe here. So all we're doing is we're just squeezing. We're doing a little bit of what would be called an isometric stretch, right? We're keeping the load constant. And breathe. Good. Now I want you to relax that isometric stretch. So relax the inner edges of the shoulder blades. They're going to go, thank you, right? And now what I want you to do is I want you to sense what's moving as you bring that arm back up. I want you to see if you can feel, good. Now, let the palm turn away. So many movements we make with our shoulders, you guys. It's the coolest thing. Pull through the shoulder blade to bring that down so that you are not, oh, there you go. Very gently, very slowly. Good. And let that relax. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and allow this left hand, let the arm drop down. Let the right hand come back, and now pull it forward. There we go. Good. And let it relax. Okay. All right, you guys. Let's do this again, other side. So let it swap over to the left side now. Okay. So again, with this right arm, what I want you to do before we make any movement is feel that shoulder blade retract. So let the arm come down by your side. Let it retract a little bit. Squeeze it together. And now bend into the elbow and just gently hold on to the strap. Much easier movement. Okay, here we go. Start here. I want you to elevate the arm. There we go. Good. Now, use your levator scapula and pull down at the same time to bring it all the way up. Good. Bend at the elbow and gently hold on to the strap. Take a moment here to pause. Notice how it's feeling. Now, we're going to play a little bit. Same thing on this side. I want you to see what it feels like to gently squeeze the shoulder blades. Oh, just a little bit. And breathe. You guys, this could be a millimeter. The squeeze could be a millimeter. Keep breathing. And then gently let it relax. All right, here we go. Lengthening back into the arm. Okay, now turn the palm away, pull. Let it relax. And here we go. Relax. Oh, yeah. And then let those shoulders rotate. Okay. All right, you guys. How's that feeling? How are your neck? How's neck feeling? Better? How's low back doing, you guys? Better? Yes? No? Jerry, how's the body doing? A little bit better? Okay, good. Yay. Awesome. All right. So from here, are we ready to do a little bit more? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. All right, you guys. So here's what I want you to do. Again, we're going to come back to hands and knees. We're going to come back into tabletop. I'm going to move the chair back just a little bit. Okay, here we go. So we're back in tabletop. So I want you to think about, again, the pull. Where is it coming from? So the first thing I want you to do is just simply extend that right leg. And let me move so that you guys can see. Okay. Extend the right leg. Okay. Now, we're going to lift the leg. In order to lift the leg, I want you to squeeze through the glute and use your hamstring. So point through the toe so it's floating. Squeeze through the glute and lengthen. Now, if your body says yes, coming from parallel, see if you can continue the extension. Keep squeezing, keep pulling through the hamstring. You can flex through the foot, you can point through the toe. Please don't give yourself a Charlie horse. You are not clenching, you are just simply squeezing. Notice how this works. Okay, now, you're gonna still squeeze through the glute because that's the stabilizer muscle, but I want you to feel that now you're gonna, as you lower, you're gonna begin to pull through the quadricep to bring it back down. There you go, good. Okay, from here, squeeze through the glute, bring it back up. Now we're gonna do a little abduction. So these are gonna be those gluteus medius muscles. You're gonna swing, squeeze through the glute, swing the leg out. Oh, yeah. And it may not go very far, and that's okay. Now you're gonna use your adductor muscles. Pull the leg in. Good. And one more time. Squeeze through the glute and abduct the leg. Bring it out. Okay? Use your adductor muscles. Bring the leg back in. Good. Bend into the knee and take whatever variation of child's pose feels best. So, if flexion in the knees are grumpy this morning, and if it's too much extension, right plantar flexion through the ankles, put a roll underneath the ankles. So we have lots of options. Arms are wider than shoulder width. You can come down onto the forehead and do a variation of puppy pose. Or if it's comfortable, you can come all the way back, hips to heels, and breathe. Deep, full breath. Just let your body pause here. Notice how it's feeling. And then gently, slowly, come back up. I'm going to change sides just so that we can do it again. Okay, now we're working into our left leg. So you're strong through the arms. Lengthen that left leg. Toes are resting on the mat. Okay? So here we go. From here, squeeze through the glute, point through the toe, and use the hamstring and the glute to pull the leg to parallel. Now, if you choose, you can play with extension. So I want you to extend. Only if your back and your body says yes, you're still squeezing through the glute, you're still activating through the hamstring. If your leg starts to shake, that's great. Now, glute needs to be the stabilizer, so keep squeezing. As you bring it down, begin to feel the quadricep come online. Come to parallel, then gently bend into the knee. Bring it down. Okay, lengthen again, let the toes point. Now we're going to do a little abduction and adduction. So here we go. Squeeze through the glute. Abduct the leg out. May not go very far. Now use your adductors. And they may shake. They don't like to work. And gently draw the leg back in. One more time. Abduction all the way out. Feel it. And then adduction, bringing it in. Bend into the knee. And again, whatever variation of child's pose feels best. Just let everything relax and soften. Okay. We're going to do this one more time. And this time we're going to increase what it is that we're doing. So again, lengthen into those right legs. And squeeze through the glute. Bring the leg up. Parallel, if it feels comfortable, take the leg into extension. So you're going to continue to bring the leg up. Really feel the contraction of those low back muscles as you do that. Now we're going to bring the leg all the way through. So squeeze through the glute, help it stabilize. Now I want you to bend into the knee and you're going to pull with your quadricep muscles to bring the leg up and underneath your body. Good. Okay. Squeeze through the glute. Begin to activate through the hamstring. lengthen. Now I want you to abduct. Bring the leg out, pull. Now we're going to use the adductors. Squeeze those adductors, and I want you to pull with the adductors all the way across. Tighten and bring that leg as far over to the left as you can. Bring it down. Good. Take a moment, and I want you just simply to sway into the hips, over to the right. Just notice how those hips feel. Come back up. Change sides. Here we go. Left leg. Lengthen. Toes are resting. Squeeze through the glute. Bring it up. If your body says yes, take it into extension. Squeeze. Now begin to squeeze through those lower back muscles. Pulling the leg, helping to pull the leg up. From here, squeeze through the glute to help the eccentric contraction of the hamstring. Begin to pull with the quadricep muscle as you bend into the knee and bring that leg up. Hold here and then gently release it. Lengthen it back out. Move it into abduction, bringing that leg out. Good. Now squeeze. Begin to ask those adductors to fire. You're going to bring that left leg as far over to the right as you can. And then gently release. Good. This time draw the knees together and allow the hips to swing over to the left. Breathe. And release. Okay. Here we go. We're going to move now to the chair. Okay, and we're up on our chair. Okay, you guys, so now we're going to play with our trunk muscles a little bit because I want us to play with a twist. So the first thing you're going to do, and let's see if I can get my dialogue right because I completely blew it on Thursday, only through the grace of Carolyn going no and Rocky going no, was I able to get through it. So hopefully I'll be better this morning. Okay, you guys. Oh, and Effie's gonna help. Thank you, baby. All right, so here's what I want us to do. Get your hands on the sides of your pelvis, and I want you to allow that right pelvis to shift a little bit forward and the left pelvis to shift back. Okay, got it? So we're a little cattywampus on the thing. Okay, now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to place your hands on this left side. And before we do the twist, here's what I want you to do. Activate all of your core muscles on the left side, including into the back. And pull with the left side. Can you feel that? Let it relax. Okay? When we go into a twist, guess what? These guys should be activating. They should not just be, we're just gonna move. Think about it, all right? Those of you that wanna recheck what it is that we did last week, find your floating ribs, follow them back, place the thumb at the approximate point of where you felt your floating ribs go back to. This is more or less T12, más o menos, okay? That means that we're going to start by engaging the trunk muscles, and then if we're taking it deeper, the twist needs to come from above where your thumb is. Does that make sense? So we're not going to worry about this right hand. I want you to take the right hand and I want you to feel the engagement through those left trunk muscles, okay? So take a deep inhale. And now I want you to squeeze and pull with those left trunk muscles as far as they'll go. So they're still squeezing. Now, if you want to go deeper into this twist, it needs to come from the thoracic area, so above where your thumb is, you can continue the twist. Keep squeezing through that left side. Right hand can just simply come to rest on the outside of the left thigh. Head and neck can continue that twist as is comfortable to look behind. Breathe. And keep that tension on that left side. Now to unwind, you're going to continue to keep some tension on that left side. So unwind the head and neck first, then unwind the thoracic spine, so the rib cage, and now I want you to start pulling through the right side. Let the left side relax. Pull through the right side, to bring you back. Let your torso relax. Play a little bit. Woo! Okay, you guys, how did that feel? Was that like the most work that you've ever done in a twist? So guess what? Our muscles are really, really lazy, you guys. They want the joints to do all the work. And it's time for the muscles to start working. So when you work this way, trust me, you don't have to do near as much because you're working really hard, okay? I don't know about you, but I am glowing a little bit right now and I have the AC on. So this is just body working. So from here, since we are already on the edge, we're going to just float ourselves. So I want you to float that right pelvis back just a little bit. And now we're going to open. So again, adduct, or abduct. So I want you to take this left glute muscle, squeeze it, and pull that left leg out. Okay? Do you notice the difference just in doing that? So bring it back about 45 degrees, squeeze, and bring it out. It actually has to work. It has to fire. And it's going, but I don't wanna. It needs to. So from here, you're gonna adjust this right leg so that it's comfortable, which means that you're probably gonna have to slide over to the right. So slide to the right so that now, yes, so that now this right leg is really comfortable and hanging off. That way you can straighten it, okay? But you've got this left leg all the way on the chair. Are we good? If possible, allow the hips to open. There you go. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Awesome, Teresa. How are we doing? Is that comfortable for everybody? Or you're like, I don't like it. Okay? Adjust it so that you like it. But you've got the support. So now the legs can pretty much chill. What I want you to do is I do want you to keep strength going through this right leg. So again, we're going to do a little bit of isometric activation. You're hugging the muscle to the bone. We're not changing the position, but we're allowing the leg to be active. So we're squeezing a little bit through the right glute, right? We're using our adductors through this right leg, and we are also squeezing through the quad. Got it? Okay, we're going to try to do this both arms at once. Bring your arms down. Want you to feel, so retract your shoulders just a hair. Get them in the right position, and now, pull those arms up. Oh, amazing what happens when you're actually pulling through the muscle. Breathe, keep pulling. Oh, we're gonna let our faces stay straight ahead. Beautiful, you guys. How many of you are still activating through your arms? Oosh. Good. Now, as you exhale, You're gonna let the tops begin to relax. Pull down, depress. Pull those shoulders. Pull the arms down. Oh, good. Let it relax. Okay, here we go. Is everybody breathing, sweating, or glowing? Good. Okay, we're gonna release this right leg. Adjust so that now we're square. Okay, now we're gonna do the other side. This time I want the left hip forward. Let the right hip recede. Okay, we're gonna play before we do anything. I want you to place your hands, so take your left hand, place it on the right side, right trunk, and I want you to squeeze those right trunk muscles. This is all your abs, you guys, and pull into the twist. And what you might find is that you have one side that really likes to work and the other side's like, I don't want to do the work. And then let it relax. Okay? So if this is the side that's a little bit lazy, know that, guess what? The twist on the side is not going to be quite as much. We have to practice getting those muscles to fire. It's like this is their wake-up call. Working, working, working. Okay? All right, so again, when you're ready, left hand wraps around on the right side. You're going to take your right hand, again, find those floating ribs, place the thumb at the approximate spot of T12. Guys, this is all approximate. All right, here we go. Beginning the twist. We're starting with the trunk muscles first. So squeeze, those left trunk muscles and have them draw you into the twist. Now, if you want to go further, you're going to go ahead, let go. You're still activating through that right side. Let that left hand come to rest on the outside of the right thigh. You can allow the twist above the thumb to move through the thoracic rib cage, and then allow the head and neck to continue the twist. Keep squeezing. Keep activating through that right side. To gently unwind. Unwind the head and neck first. Unwind the rib cage. Now, keep accessing these right trunk muscles. Very gently, very slowly. When you get about 30 degrees in, start accessing through the left. Pull yourself out. Let everything relax. Do a little wiggle wobble. Woo! Okay, a lot of work. Okay, since we're here, this time, right leg. I want you to abduct it. So squeeze that right glute, pull that leg out. Good. Now use your adductors, pull the leg back in. One more time, squeeze through the glute, pull it out. Now we're going to take our hands on the chair and we're going to slide over to the left. This way, that right leg is completely on the chair. Lengthen into the left leg. Okay? There we go. Okay, so same thing on this side. We're active on this left leg. So I want you to feel the adductors moving. You got a light squeeze going through the glute, and you're hugging the muscle to the bone through the quadricep all the way around to the hamstring. Good. Here we go. Arms come down by the side. Pull the arms up. So use those. So take a moment. Feel the shoulder blades retract just a hair bit. Now pull. 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 Oh, we're working. We're working. We're working. Pulling. Beautiful, you guys. Awesome. Look at you go. That looks fabulous. Let the muscles shake, you guys. They are going to shake. Good. Now, you're going to use the lower back muscles. Pull those arms down. Good. And then let it relax. Woo. Slide back to square. We're going to do a little bit of a forward fold, so come to where it's comfortable on the chair. It's easier if the legs are wide. Again, oh, now we get to use abdominis rectus. Okay, so here we go. Pull through the core. Slide down. Slowly, 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 slowly. You guys pause halfway. Let everything relax. And I want you to allow the fascia. You've got a really big sheet of fascia through the low back, the thoracolumbar fascia. This is another thing about getting a little bit older. We love our bodies, is that it creeps a little bit more slowly than it does when we're younger. So if we go a little bit slower, it gives the fascia a chance to catch up. So again, re-engage the core. Slowly continue to come down. And then let everything relax. Let the core relax. Move back into a passive stretch. Breathe. Take a moment right here while we're working with gravity. So we're actually got some nice tension or traction going through the cervical spine, right? We're stretching into the vertebrae a little bit. Want you to use a gentle yes with your head and neck. Do the full range of motion very gently, very slowly. Gentle no with your head and neck. Gently, slowly. Come back to neutral. And just feel that really yummy traction. Very gentle tensional force. Okay, we're going to come out. So I want you to begin by squeezing a little bit through your glutes. Oh yeah. So you're going to squeeze through those glutes. You're going to reactivate gently through the core. When you get your back to parallel, let your hands come on top of the knees. Let everything relax here for a moment. You got yourself halfway with your muscles. Life is good. So let everything relax. Breathe. Again, squeeze through the glutes. You're still engaged through the core, just not quite as tightly. Squeezing, 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 slowly, gently, and you may be activating through your legs as well, pressing down, that's fine. Bring yourself back up, very slowly, very gently. Good, and come back up. How did that feel, you guys? Was that okay? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, guess what? Y'all, we worked really hard, so we get to lay down now. Yay! So, here's what I would like to do. We're going to do this so that we have legs up the chair. Unless that's not comfortable. So please do it the way that's most comfortable, you guys. Okay. If you need to put a blanket on the chair, that's fine. Please do so. So we're going to scooch in. Let the entire lower half of the leg. Now, if you want to do one thing really quickly, you can press down through the hands so that you're here like this. Just one more. And again, I want you to notice what happens. You're going to stay fairly straight through the arms. Feel slight retraction through the shoulder blades. Squeeze through the glutes and just press down through the lower leg. See if you can lift your glutes off the floor. Just hover just a bit. Squeezing. And then let it relax. Okay? And then gently, slowly lower yourself all the way down. Okay. One more time, take a moment, and I want you to gently lift your shoulders off. Take a moment and feel the shoulder blades draw ever so slightly together. And then allow the shoulders to come back down. Let your arms come to rest down by the sides, palms facing up. Allow your eyes to gently close. And allow your body to reconnect with itself from the new space that we've created. Okay, guys, so we've done all kinds of good things. Come back to that full, deep diaphragmatic breath. So even here, you guys, in your diaphragmatic breath, as you inhale, the stronger that you can inhale, the more you can push out that low belly, the more you actually pull the diaphragmatic muscle down. And then as you exhale, coming from the top, going to the middle, ending at the bottom, it releases and you can feel it recede and come up. So every muscle pulls. Let your eyes gently close. Take a moment to feel and notice the change that you've created in your body. Take a moment of gratitude that your body made it through the practice, that it feels so good, that you can find that space of deep relaxation. And then just take several cycles of breath right here with your eyes closed, your breath soft. Finding that space. And that reward. Very gently, very slowly begin to find your way back. Start with fingers and toes, hands and feet, and gently allow yourself to come back. When you're comfortable there with your legs still on the chair, you can inhale, coming back into the breath, lengthening the arms up over the head and stretch. Feel that length, oh, that yummy, yummy length. And then gently release. And then when you're ready, gently draw the knees from the chair back in towards your chest. Give yourself a gentle hug. And then when you're ready, gently roll yourself onto one side and press yourself back up into a seated position with your eyes still closed and your breath still soft. Bring your hands to your heart, your thumbs against the heart point on your sternum. Thank you, you guys. Thank you so, so much for allowing me to be part of your practice. Thank you for our community. I honor the divine in you that is the divine in me, that is the divine in all of us. Namaste. May the blessings be. So I want to unmute everybody. Why does that? Hang on. Oh, they changed it.
I unmuted.
Okay. Good.
I'm unmuted.
Okay, good. We still have a couple that are. Maggie is still muted as I'm asking to unmute. Carolyn is still muted. There we go. Carolyn and Maggie, I need to have you guys unmute yourself. I'm sorry.